Hello, losers. Weep, 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 weep. Welcome to Fieros. Yeah, welcome to this channel. Welcome to this video. Welcome ye. Sit down. Have a cup of drink. Have a drink of cup. Have a cup of tea. Have a cup of coffee. Have a cup of orange juice. Have a sip of lemonade. Sit down. Shut your face, put your ears in their holes, and ready yourself for the magic of Fieros' story time. Hello, welcome back. We're in the room of doom, the room of gloom, the room of glory. It's been a while, hasn't it? Since you've been in the room of gloom. The room of books! Plentiful books. What is this book? Alan P's. Questions are the answers. Yeah, all right, mate. Answers are the questions. Do you know what? Ends are the beginnings. Beginnings are the ends. Let's read a book. Now for the big question. How long does it take you to talk to 10 people about the business? What business? The business. None of your business. Alan Penis. Sorry, mate. The law of averages will always work for you. What is this book? Hitting the big time. Yes! I want to hit the big time! At age 20, I joined the life insurance business as a salesman. Life insurance business as a salesman. At 21 years old, I was the youngest person ever to sell over $1 million of insurance in their first year and qualify for the $1 Million Round Table Club. My averages were 10 to 5 to 4 to 3 to 1, 10 to 5 to 4 to 3 to 1, 10 to 5, 10 to 5, 4, 3 to 1, 10 to 5 to 4, 3 to 1, 10 to 5, 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 10 to 5, 4, 3 to 1, 10 to 5, 4, 3 to 1. 10 to 5, 4, 3, 2, 10 to 5, Ten to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 10 to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 10 to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 10 to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5 to 3 to 2 to 1. 5, 3, 2, 1. 5, 3, 2, 1. 5, 3, 2, 2, 1. 5, 3, 2, 1. 5, 3, 2, 1. 5, 3, 2, 1. 5, 3, 2, 1. 10, 7, 4, 4, 2. 10, 7, 4, 2, 7, 10, 4, 2, 10, 7, 4, 2, 10, 7, 4, 2, 10, 7, 4, 2, 10, 7, 4, 2, 10, 7, 4, 2, 10, 7, 4, 2, 4, 7, 2, 4, 2. Follow your dream. 10, 7, 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 7, 2, 2, 1. How the fuck do I make this thing do the thing that I want it to? Follow your dream. Follow your dream. Okay. Oh, I'm so glad I did that. Let's look in the dictionary. Come on, boys and girls. The Dictionary of English. 10 to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What have we got in here then? Pick it open at random. Oops. And the word here is dictionary. Oh no, that's not the right one, is it? 10 to 5 to 4, 3, 2, 1. So I'm just ruining the whole fucking place. Okay, no more madness. The first word at the top is honcho. I'm the head honcho. I happen to have turned it open on homing pigeon. There was a person talking about homing pigeons yesterday. When I say yesterday, I mean 2 days ago. Homogeneous, homogeny, homograph. Homograph. Homeothermic. Hermione-othermic. Homothermal. Yeah, it's all to do with gays. I picked up the word. I picked up the gay page. This homo. I used to be called homo when I was a kid. It was really bad. Everyone called everyone homo, and I called everyone homo. They all called me homo, and everyone called everyone homo. Holy Spirit. It was also on this page. Holy Communion. Holy everything. You got Holy Hamburg. Homburg. A man's hat of soft felt with a dented crown and a stiff upturned brim. Homologize. Oh, that's when you apologise to a homosexual. Homologize. So offensive. Homology. Homologous. Homological. When gay people speak logically. That's a homologic, that is. These are all real words, by the way. I'm not making it up like. It's all homological, it is. How? Honcho. Well, I just want to get to Honcho. So at the bottom. Oh, we can get there. Homology. Homolazine project. Fuck off. A map projection of the world. Oh, Homolazine projection. A map projection of the world on which the oceans are distorted to allow for greater accuracy in representing the continents. Homolazine. Homomorphism. Which is when a homosexual person morphs into a badger or a tree. Homotreenism. Homomorphism. Is that a word? Homomorphism. Mighty morphin power homos. Homonym. Homomorphy. Similarity in form. Oh, so if I had a twin, I would be homomorphic with him or her. Yeah. Homomorphism. Homonym. 543210454. Homonym. Homophobia. Lesbians are everywhere. Homophobia. Intense hatred or fear of homosexuals or homosexuality. This whole video is a homophobia. It's a homophobia. Homophone. Oh, that's when a gay person has a phone. Homophone. One of a group of words I can't be bothered to read that. Homophonic. It's like stereophonics, but we're all gay. Homopteros. Homopteros. Species of dinosaur, all of gay variety. Homopteros or homopteran. Let's see what this says. Of or belonging to a suborder of Hemipteros. Come on now. Hemipteros. Insects having wings of a uniform texture held over the back at rest. What? Homo sapiens. Human being. Isn't that what it is? The specific name of modern man. The only extant species of the genus Homo. I got teased as a child. This species also includes some extinct types of primitive man, such as Cro-Magnon. Come on, Magnon! Cro-Magnon! Cro-Magnon. Hello, Magnon. How are you? Cro-Magnon, man. Oh, man, that shit's so Cro-Magnon, man. You go back to the dark age of your Cro-Magnon shit, homo. Sapien. Homosexual. A person who is sexually attracted to members of the same sex. 2. Of or relating to homosexuals. I am not related to no homosexual, I tell ya. Homosexual. 3. Of or relating to the same sex. Ooh, that's in a scientific sort of sense, isn't it? Homozygote. An animal or plant that is homozygous and breeds true to type. Homozygous. Having identical alleles for any one gene. These two fruit flies are homozygous for red eye colour. Moving on before my brain explodes. Homunculus. A miniature man? I'm sure that is... Fuck. What's it say? A miniature man. That's what homunculus is called. No! No! Peter Dinklage is a homunculus. Homunculus. Hello, homunculus! Also called homuncule. Shut up, man. I swear the homunculus was a part in the brain. Ah, and here we have the homunculus. Oh, man. Homey. Oh. Like a home. Cozy. Oh, this feels quite homey. Me homies. Hominess or hominess with different spelling. Hon. Abbreviation for honorary. Honourable. Hon. It's the same thing. Honourable title. And finally, the one we've all been waiting for. Honcho. Honchos. Chiefly US. The person in charge. The boss. I am the boss of the dictionary. Homburg. That's enough of that. Fuck's sake. Oh, what a page to open it on. The homo page. Anyway, this is supposed to be Fieros. Homo Fieros. Gays. The gays are everywhere. I used to be a gay. So here we are. Here's the challenge of the day. It is story time with Fieros. Changed my name to Fieros rather than Fieros. Right, so, right. Did I say it was story time? Story time! I'm going to go get my food out. No, because this is what I've come here to do, is to tell stories of a homozygous nature. Story time. Okay. You put me on the spot right now, you are. Hold on. Brain. Story time. Well, since we've been talking about homo occasions all the time, maybe I should tell some stories about when I was gay. Back when I was gay, I had hairy sex. Oh, hairy sex? I did used to wank off a bloke. One particular bloke. He was of name of my boyfriend at the time. And we had sex in a bed, believe it or not. A large bed where two people could be. So it was called a double bed. And so we had that, we did that, and there was a wanky thing there. And there was a couch as well. I remember there was a couch. By couch, I mean sofa. Well, what's the difference, though, isn't it? Do we really know what is the difference between the couch and the sofa? Let's not look it up. So yeah, and there was a kitchen. We lived in this kind of little house thing. Makes it sound bad. I mean, like, everyone lives in a house. Do they really, though? I mean, it was a summer house, basically. It was like a tent in the garden. No, it was a tree formed into a house. No, it was a shed. No, it wasn't a shed. But that's the closest approximation to what it was. It was a combination of shed plus house. Originally, it was an outhouse shed type garden building thing. A summer house, yeah? Where you would store items for the summer, I presume. It was in an old area. I don't want to give away the details of it. It was in an old area in another area within this country. And it was in an old kind of estate where there was like lots of old buildings, and they were all owned by the same person, which happened to be the father of my boyfriend at that time. So he owned all the buildings in that estate, and it was like an old, as I keep saying, old sort of estate where there was lots of old buildings, old houses. It was like, I don't know, Victorian or Tudor or something. It was very, very old. Lots of old houses in this old estate, right? So they had this summer house, which, believe it or not, was old, but they'd done it up so that it was new and old at the same time. So we were living in that thing because we were boyfriend and boyfriend rather than boyfriend and girlfriend, because I had decided I'm not gay anymore. I mean, I'm not straight anymore. I want to have a boyfriend. No, I didn't actually say that, did I? This story is getting more and more weird as it goes along. Let me explain. Let me start from the beginning. I started off being straight. Well, did I though? Really? Did I? Did I or not? Do we know? What do we know for certain? Eh? I started off being alive. Then I was subject to beatings. No, I wasn't subject to beatings. Basically, I had a lot of confusion. Yeah, let's start there. Makes sense. I had a lot of confusion about my sexuality in the early days of my adultness. In my teenage years, I had a lot of difficulty assessing for myself what it was that I wanted to bone and whom it was that I wanted to bone. Shagging. Yeah. So, oh yeah. So I didn't know who I wanted to. Yeah, so I didn't know who I was going to put my penis inside. Or who even I wanted to, because first we have to know who we want to put it inside, then we do it, because you can't just do it without, you can't just insert your penis into anyone willy-nilly. Oh, there's a book over. No more books. Right. Okay. So yeah. So in my teenage years, I was a little confused, shall we say, to say the least, about sexuality and what it was all about. I used to stroke my penis with a small, fine-tuned comb. No, I didn't. I used to stroke my penis with a brush. I did actually. There was one occasion, or maybe even a few occasions, where I got a paintbrush and I was stroking my penis with the brush for masturbatory pleasure, because it was pleasurable, and I should try that again because I haven't done that for ages. Many years. Oh, and yeah. So so and I videoed it as well. That video will be available. No, it's not available. Right. So what's the question? What happened? Oh yeah. So I was a teenager. I didn't know what to do about my sex, my penis. Yeah. And I was scared. Okay, I was scared of men and their penises, peni. And gay was bad, as we have learned from the dictionary. Well, I'm not sure that's exactly what the dictionary said. Introit. Yeah, so back in the days of my life, when I was a teenager, gay was bad. And it was bad, and you're not allowed to be gay, and it was wrong to be gay, and people were teased for being gay, and you get kind of social bollocks if you were gay. There was one gay guy in the year group, actually. The one openly gay guy, I outed him, actually. So there's a whole story around this that revolves around it. Yeah. So, and he was the one gay bloke, and he was a man. Well, he wasn't actually a man. He was a boy. He was a boy of the same age as me. He came out to me saying that he was gay, even though he'd previously said that he was not gay, that in fact he had a girlfriend whom wore a bikini with small bits on it that were virtually the size of 2 peas that just covered her nipples. And I later found out it was all lies. Lies about the nipples and lies about the bikini. There was no girlfriend of name of not going to say the name. There was no girlfriend with that person. There was no real girlfriend. It was lies. And he was trying to. I was trying to get with the girl of my life dreams. Also with no name person. I was trying to get with this girl who I'd fancied since like year 4. We'd known each other since the age of 9. We'd been to primary school from that age, and we went to the same secondary school afterwards. And she was like my sort of, prized love interest, who I just was like constantly thwarted by life and frustrated by the fact that she actually ended up turning out to be a lesbian. Would you believe? Such is the life, eh? Such is a lot of lesbianism and gayness going around these days. And I must say, I took my fair share of the action. Anyway. So, yeah, so I had sex with no one in those days, but I was learning. No, so there was a specific part where I was trying to get with this girl, and it was in like year 8 probably, or year 7. So year 7 or 8, both at the same time. No, so 7.5. No, so can't remember what I was on about. Oh yeah, so I was in the thing there. We're in the playground. And I was asking this bloke, the gay bloke, right, the gay one. I was asking him, how am I going to get this girl? Because you've apparently got a girlfriend, and you've been having all the sex apparently with the nipples and the fucking 2p things and the sex, because he said he was having sex with this girl as well, which turned out later to be lies, which I've already covered. But lies, and how lies we shall not tell the lies. Yeah. So lies. Yeah. So lies. Yeah. So he said, "Oh yes, well, what you should do is buy her flowers." And I was like, "Yeah, okay," and buy her presents. And I was like, "Okay." So I think I did. I definitely bought a present. It did not work. Lies. No wonder he didn't give me any good advice, because his whole life was built upon lies, 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 lies. I only found out that it was lies recently. But yeah, so he said, give her flowers. I don't think I gave her flowers, but I gave her a present for sure. It was a little star necklace thing with a little beady, diamondy looking type thing. So they weren't actually diamonds. So, yeah. So I didn't get her. She didn't get me. She went out with another bloke who had floppy hair, and I was like, and he also had a cowlick in his hair, but his one was bigger than mine. I was like, and his nose was all like a fucking beady eagle type nose, like baldy eagle with the little cowlick and the nose. And I'm like, what? Just because he plays tennis at a high level, at a professional level. Fuck him, man. Come with me. I've got a small cowlick in my hair as well. I can't remember which side it is. Is it that side? I feel like it's that side. I've got a small cowlick in my hair, and I buy you presents, and I've known you for ages. And I squeezed her bum at one point, and then that was the time when we were going out. We actually went out, me and this girl. We went out for one date to the bowling alley with the rest of our friends, but we were going out, because when you say you're going out, it's an agreement, isn't it? It doesn't matter how ridiculous it is an agreement, and that agreement lasts however long, and it lasted for one very shitty fucking thing, and I squeezed her buttocks. I patted her buttocks. I think it was just patting, actually. It wasn't a squeeze, it was a pat. Because I was dared, all right? I was 14 and I was dared. And you have to obey the dare. So I did it. And then what did she say the next day? That's it. I don't think you were behaving appropriately, so I'm not going out with you anymore. Sexual abuse case. Yeah, so I was a bit much. I was a bit of a dick. So, but then later on, right, we did actually go out. Sort of. I don't think we were ever actually boyfriend and girlfriend, but it was always like a kind of near thing. We were always like almost. And we were very, very friendly. She ended up being in the band, my first band, and we shared intimacy of friendship and occasional kind of quite close cuddles. Like I remember experimenting with her sexually, but not ever getting fully sexual. Like so, never kind of like body parts like boobs and vagina, but very kind of sensual stroking and stuff with her. So like stroking her back and her neck and her tummy and stuff like this. We were still kind of teenagers, right? So that was nice. And then we tried to make it into a thing by going on a date the next day, and it just didn't work again. So it was always kind of like, you know, when you're at missed times, so one person wants it, and then the other person doesn't, and then that person wants it, and the other person doesn't. So it was always kind of like, I hate you when you love me, and you love me when I hate you, and it was all like that teenage drama. Yeah, so, but there was also this, so the point of this story is I'm talking about homo, as we've discovered from the dictionary. So yeah, back in those days, there was a lot of homophobia. A lot of homophobia in our school. And so I was not allowed, I did not feel allowed or able to think anything of the gay genre. As in, you know, I wasn't really allowed to entertain any thoughts. I certainly wasn't allowed to speak about anything like that. If I was to speak of anything even remotely related to homosexual activity, shall we say, or even be slightly effeminate in my presentation of myself, in the sense of like, you know, if you act a little bit girly, you start getting called homo or queer or gay or whatever. So yeah, so that went through that, and but then I remembered at a certain point, I think it was the age of 17, I remembered that I'd had some experiences with boys around my age when I was a lot younger. So, you know, like primary school age, like I was brought up with a few other boys around me who were being looked after by the same person. And there's one in particular who him and I had some sort of, let's call it sexual experimentation, where we were just touching each other and I don't know, we didn't really call it anything, but we would just do it and it was fun. So, and I think that was basically kind of situational. Like if there was a girl there, that it would have been a girl. So I don't really give much weight to that anymore. But at the time when I was 17, I did give a lot of weight to it because these memories started bubbling back, and they were kind of like, there was the repression inside me and the oppression from the outside world sort of telling me that these kind of thoughts and memories are not good. You know, everyone around me is going to start calling me gay and giving me hassle and giving me grief and, you know, picking on me and perhaps even fighting with me, if I was to start sharing this kind of thing. I used to experiment with boys when I was a kid because it was just what was going on around me, like, and that I didn't really know what I was doing, and blah blah blah. If I was to say something like that in um, public, you know, like in the school environment, then I would have been even more persecuted than I already was when I wasn't expressing anything particularly gay. It was just that was the culture that we were in. So there was a culture of homophobic bullying. And that was whether you were gay or straight. It really didn't matter. Everyone was bullying everyone about being homosexual. So then, moving on a little bit more, I come out of school, and then I go into this new job where there are a lot of gay people working there, and I suddenly started to realize and feel that it was okay to be gay, that these people aren't being picked on, these people are accepted by the workplace. So there was like three gay guys who, and even maybe more, and yeah, I think later there was like, well, there was some of them came in and went out, but there was always a section of the employees who were gay at any one time. And so I kind of got into that environment and I realized, okay, I don't have to hide these little impulses and thoughts and feelings that I've been having inside me anymore. I can actually, there's a validity to them, like they're okay, they're acceptable and quite encouraged by some of the people because those people are openly gay and they're okay with it and they're openly camp and they're openly, they're accepted, sorry, by everyone. in the place. Well, not accepted by everyone. They're mainly accepted by the management, which was really kind of key because the authority figures were okay with this. So, it was just an open environment where it was okay to be gay, and I'd never had that before. It was not okay to be gay at school before, and it was not okay to be gay in the workplace that I was in before this that one that I was in. So yeah. So I didn't come out as such, but I started to sort of feel okay to be curious about it. So I was like, started to test it out. Let's say, I tested it out with, how does this feel? And so I ended up getting with one of the guys who was working there, and then I got into this relationship, which lasted 2 years or so, probably a little bit less than 2 years. I'm not really sure. But it was a horrendous relationship, really, for various different reasons. Probably, though, it was the most impactful relationship of my whole life because so far, maybe, yeah, probably still is because it was so early on in my life, Um, I really took a beating from it, in terms of what it did to me afterwards. So it was a very claustrophobic relationship. It was a very entangled relationship. We basically just really got inside each other's minds and hearts, and then we pulled apart, and it was just like a massacre of emotions. It was just horrible. It was horrible, horrible relationship. Horrible relationship. So I was still trying to find myself, and I really didn't want to be tied down. And like, I didn't know what I was doing in a gay relationship. I really just wanted to experiment with what was right for me. And somehow I got sucked into a relationship where I felt like I couldn't leave, and I felt like I couldn't, I'd kind of gone into this gay identity, wanted to test it out, and it just became a massive thing that started to define the whole of my life. And I went around telling everyone I was gay, and kind of, I don't know, it became the defining thing for my life at that time. And I was in the relationship, and I was still finding women attractive, and I couldn't match up between me calling myself gay exclusively and me finding women attractive, and in fact me finding women more attractive than the guy I was with, and also more attractive than men in general. So I couldn't like match this up, and so the conflict inside of me as to, well, you're supposed to be gay, like you've decided you're gay, you tested it out, you got into this relationship, you're in a gay relationship now, so you've got to conform to that identity, and yet inside me I'm going, I'm really attracted to this girl, and I would rather spend time with this girl, and I'm like and always gravitating towards the women, not as friends, not just as friends, but always finding them more attractive, wanting to be with them, wanting to touch women, wanting to be held by women, wanting to have sex with women. I'm just finding my mind constantly drawn towards women, whereas before the gay thing was more like a curiosity thing. Like it was a repressed part of me that wasn't allowed its say, and so I didn't feel like I could be fully myself until I had acknowledged that within me. Right, I couldn't fully be okay with myself and feel settled in myself until I had found out what this means for me, like whether it was real or not, whether it was true or not, and what place it had in my life. And then so I experimented, as I said, got into the relationship, realized that this really was not what I wanted to be in, and to the point where I was having sex with my boyfriend and visualizing him as though he was a woman, and treating him as though he was a woman, and squeezing his chest, pecs, whatever, boobs, as though he was a woman, and craving for the feeling of being inside a vagina rather than being inside a butthole, and just wanting the smell of a woman rather than the smell of a guy, because I'd had a year and a half relationship with a very attractive girl. We were teenagers, so girl, I suppose, teenager girl. I don't know what the right word would be. A young woman. That sounds dodgy. Anyway, so I'd had a sexual relationship already that was really good. That gave me a lot of kind of good understanding of what it's like to be with a woman. Then I was with a guy, and it's a different feeling with a guy. And it's one that overall I don't really like. It's too masculine, I suppose. It's too strong. I don't like the smell. I don't like the feeling of the rough skin with the beard. I don't like the body parts really. I mean, I like my own penis, but it's like I just find other men's penises, whatever, just I don't want them in my space. I don't want. I've got one. And I've touched a few already. That's enough now. Just no. Okay, had enough. So, So, what's the point of the story? How did I get to this story? So yes, we were together for 10 years, 2 years, inside this little summer house. It was a very claustrophobic relationship, and the end point of that story was where I started to realize this conflict within me. Yeah, I started to realize that I don't really want to be with a guy. I really see my boyfriend as a girl. I want him to be a girl. Like, I recognize that my true desire, is for women and not for guys, not for men. And I didn't really want to be having sex with him at all anymore. I was attracted to women. I wanted to be with women. And I kind of got to the point where there was another realization as well, which is I felt like he didn't really see me how I saw myself. And I felt like he had a very skewed perception of me. And it was a very negative perception of me that I don't know, it's just, he saw me as like some kind of really bad guy or something. And like, he was really mean with some of the words he used, like labels he used towards me. Like, I don't want to say it, but and I sort of listened to him having a go at me one time, and I just thought, if you think that's how I am, or who I am, or how I'm coming across, then you really don't know me. You really don't know what I'm about, and there's something's going wrong here. Plus, there was another part as well which made me realize I was in an insane relationship, which was where he'd put up these pictures, these photographs of us together when we went to his sister's wedding, one of his sister's weddings. The wedding of one of his sisters. Yes. So he'd put up these pictures in the toilet of us looking happy and smiley together. And I was just like, why are they in the toilet, for one thing? So that when I'm sitting having a crap, trying to read my Gandhi autobiography, that I'm looking at these pictures of us happy and smiling in these suits. Why are they in the toilet? 2, this is not an accurate reflection of our relationship. I realized that he kind of he saw our relationship like that, like in this kind of perfect, happy, smiley way. And I'm thinking, I don't experience this relationship like that at all. I'm not happy in this relationship. I don't want to be in this relationship. I feel trapped in this relationship. I feel isolated from my friends and family. I feel unhappy. I feel like I can't be myself. I feel like I'm attracted to women, to other women. I feel like I'm not allowed to be attracted to women because I'm in a gay relationship. I feel like I've had to basically ruin my university career because of what this guy wants, and I feel too guilty to escape. And basically this relationship has consumed my life. And then there's this happy smiley faces on the fucking toilet, the wall of the toilet, and I'm looking at it going, this is not how my experiences of this relationship. There's a real disconnect between how you're experiencing this relationship and how I'm experiencing this relationship. So it set a kind of click off in my mind as to, this guy I'm with is really not seeing the reality of this situation at all. Like, he is living in some kind of manufactured, rose-tinted dream world of our relationship where everything is happy and everything is always good. And no wonder we're having these arguments where if something goes wrong, like this tiny thing is imperfect in the day or in the evening, that he has a massive wobbly fit and like a control freak kind of thing going on there. So, you know, that was another kind of bing. I looked at these pictures when I was on the bog, and I was like, why are there these pictures of us looking happy and smiley on the bog? You know, what is this? What is this madness that I have come into? So I was like, okay, fuck this. Had a few arguments with him. Again, another aspect was I saw myself as a quite caring person, quite a compassionate person, and I felt I was that way with most of the people in my life. Friendly, caring, compassionate, you know, listening to them. And then this guy thinks I'm a douche. So maybe I was a douche. I don't know. I guess I was in some ways. I was definitely quite arrogant and quite self-absorbed. It was all about me in the relationship. Yeah. But he made it all about me as well. It was always like he sort of put it was like everything was to me, that his whole was all about me and blah. It was weird. So I was just like, fuck this. I'm moving out. I went back to my parents' house and stayed there, and he thought that maybe I was just kind of joking about it to begin with, and he tried to convince me to come back. I think I did go back once, but then there was another time I was just like, no, this is the end, because he was a very persuasive guy. He's very manipulative. Like, he would do this whole thing of like, oh, I'm going to change and we can make it better and this time will be different and all that stuff. I'm sure that if you've been in any relationships at all in your life, that you will have come across this kind of thing, that needy person who kind of draws you back through manipulative tactics. He was like, yeah, I'm going to change, it's going to be different. And then you get back and it's exactly the fucking same as it was when you left. And you go, well, what the fuck? Like, this is why I left. So I left. And the moral of the story is, children, questions are the answers. I don't know what the answer is, but that was the end of that relationship. So I think round of applause for that. So I quit that relationship, which was great, but he just turned into an absolute arsehole from that point onwards. And only very occasionally did we have some conversations that were okay. But yeah, he was a dick after that. And he's never apologized for anything he ever did to me that was bad. And there was a lot. And I did apologize to him for the things that I felt that I did wrong. Whatever. I'm not going to get closure on that one. So, narcissists. Homosexual narcissists. So, yeah, that was a pretty shitty relationship. And I got out of it. And I was pleased that I'd done that. And I felt like it was the right thing to do. And I'd listened to myself. I think that's the moral of the story. I'd really listened to myself about what was right for me. And to observe. I was reading this book by Eckhart Tolle called A New Earth, and he was saying something about like, be present with who you are, be observing of your feelings, be aware of yourself, and be aware of your kind of external environment as well, and notice, like, if you're trying to find the answer to something, trying to find out what you're supposed to do next, is to kind of listen to your heart, and take the call of your heart to be the thing to do next. So he said something like, what's the next right thing to do? And I sat there and I did a little kind of meditation thing and I was still living with my ex-boyfriend, whatever. I was still living with the boyfriend at the time, and I sat there and I'd read this book a little bit. I sat there, did a little bit of a meditation thing, felt what I thought was the right thing to do, and I got this kind of understanding inside me, this voice inside me saying I needed to leave my partner at the time. I was like, really? But I was like, yeah, okay, let's do that, because that does seem right. And I guess, so I obeyed that internal command to leave that guy. I hadn't fully really realized why I should. I only really realized afterwards that yes, that was a good decision, because all those other things I mentioned earlier on with the photographs, and with all the arguments and stuff, and the conflict between us two, and the different ways that we were perceiving the relationship, I only really realized that fully afterwards. And it was like the call inside was telling me, this is what I need to do. I need to leave him now. And it was only afterwards that I could see all this constellation of things that made sense. That's why I should have left. And I couldn't see all of those things at the time, because when you're inside a situation, you can't always see it, from a higher perspective. You only see the little events, so you're kind of always invested in what's going on directly now. And it's only when you can take a step back and see it from another point of view that you can really make sense of, well, okay, what needs to change here, or what do I need to do, or what do I want here, or what has been happening here as a general thing. That whole kind of removing yourself for a while and taking a perspective view. So yeah, I just followed I need to do the next thing, which is to leave this person. And I did. And as I say, looking back, that was the best decision I could have made, and one of the best decisions I've ever made in my whole life. So, if there's a lesson to learn from this whole story, it is to follow your intuitive wisdom, and to trust that even if it appears like this is a bad decision, like kind of made the decision and everything went to shit for a while. Like, my parents didn't know what was going on. Why am I moving back? My ex-boyfriend now was like causing a big old fuss about things. I didn't know what I was going to do. I'd quit my uni course by this point as well, because of like the whole drama of the relationship had just sucked me in so much that basically I'd just been drawn into his space and his world, and I'd lost my whole bearing on what I wanted to do with my life. I'd lost my whole understanding of where I was going from my own self-direction, my own goals. They had just been consumed by this relationship with this very manipulative, very needy, possessive guy. And as I said, I'd felt isolated from everyone and everything. So my life had basically been ruined by being with this guy. I'm not saying he ruined it, but the effect was my life was ruined. I'd quit my uni. I don't think I had a job anymore. I was emotionally like fucked and didn't have a relationship, and I was back with my parents. So it was like bleh, ruined. Yeah, but of course, at that time it was a really shit time. But over the long term, the long haul, I'm so glad that I took that decision. If I was with that guy now, I would be in intense suffering, probably. I was in intense suffering with that guy for ages, and I didn't have a way out. I couldn't figure a way out, and when I did just obey this command, I didn't really understand why it was there, because I hadn't joined all the dots in my relationship as to why that relationship sucked. But I just obeyed that command. I was like, I need to leave, and I need to just do it now, and I just need to kind of make a decision. I need to trust this decision and go with it. In the long term, it turned out to be, yes, that was a good decision, and you learned a hell of a lot from that relationship. You learned never to go into that kind of relationship again. You learned about this type of person. You learned about what to avoid, certainly. You also learned something about your sexuality during it, that men aren't for you, not really for you anyway. A little bit here and there, we never know. They're not really for you. So yeah. So I feel like the message I'm trying to get to is something along the lines of trust your perceptions and trust your knowings and trust your intuition, because the only way I got out of that situation, which was a bad situation for me, where my life was slowly becoming mulch, the only way I got out of that situation was to trust this kind of heart-centered approach to life and trust this intuitive impulse that says you need to fucking get out of here. I need to leave. The next right thing to do is to leave this situation, and even though you don't understand it logically because you're too fucking wrecked by all the situation, you can't see the situation clearly, but you know intuitively this is what I need to do. So yeah, and I've followed that impulse, that same kind of feeling where I know that this is the right thing to do, whether it be to leave something or to start something, if this is the right person to be with, or this is the person who I need to leave, or this is the activity I need to do, or this is the job I need to take, or this is the job I need to quit. You know, that is all coming from this kind of internal understanding, the impulse of what is right for me now. And also like stay here, do this, and stay at this, and then stop doing that for a while, do this instead. You know, it's all kind of like very intuitive, that, and that seems to work, because if the more you just follow with that, then over time your life is becoming more and more what nourishes you. So if you're following that intuition thing all the time, that intuition is always guiding you towards what is going to feel best for you overall. Yeah, okay. So that's my Fieros' story time. The Honcho has returned.